Hey, what's going on, the YouTube? SEO0320 representing JVS. So I'm back here again for another review. So this movie, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I've seen like small seconds worth of clips. I got the basic premise is that you got this one hotel, you got a whole bunch of assassins in it, or killers, or thieves, or criminals under one roof. How is this gonna escalate and go? And I'm just gonna read you some of the different actors involved in this. You got Charlie Day, Zachary Quinto. I got my man Brian Tyrese Henry, plays Paperboy in Atlanta. Jeff Goldblum, Sterling K. Brown, Dave Bautista, Sophia. I always get her last name wrong, but she was in Kingsman, Mummy, and also I think she was in that last Charlize Theron movie, Atomic Blonde, and then also in the last Star Trek movie. And then the legend Jodie Foster that plays the nurse, essentially. And I was kind of just like, I didn't have any preconceived notions about what the movie was going to be about. Now, the opening of this, it shows like this bank heist, and off the gate, I realized like there were going to definitely be some violent themes that are going to be throughout this, but at the same exact time, the people that we're dealing with are not just like criminals that just kill for the sake of killing, like it's all for profit, all for purpose, all for a drive. And the first two things I realized, Sterling K. Brown and my man that plays Paperboy in Atlanta, that plays his brother, Brian. And, well, that's not his name, in real life his name is Brian. I realized that they are brothers, and they are trying to do something, and then all of a sudden, like, something happens, and I was like, okay, this is tension, this is build up. Then you start to see the regimen that the nurse, or Jodie Foster, goes through while she's in the hotel, and I was like, she's so method in what she's doing, like, so detailed and like so like in her moment, but at the same time there's something off about her, and I was like, she doesn't fit the mold of this conventional killer either. So like, what is her backstory? And then you got, like I said, these other characters in Dave Bautista, Charlie Day, and then Sophia that are just these randoms. Like Dave Bautista's character plays this really interesting companion to Jodie Foster's character. Charlie Day, honestly, I think he was hilarious. I think that his lines in this one, his delivery in lines, were actually on point. They were way funnier. Like, I mean, it makes me want to go back and look at Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, I think that those Pacific Rim movies don't do him service because he actually is very funny and very on key with his comedic timing. And there's no limitations between, like, his language in this one. Like, the language in this is very vulgar, with a lot of curse words all over the place. And I think he did a really good job for his performance, specifically the first two acts. Sophia, like, her presence as an assassin, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got it, she's got the presence, and it's like all this build up. And then, of course, I hadn't talked about Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown, he legit could be an action star. Like, he has got the build, he's got the acting chops. Like, he carries himself in this movie very well, and I think that they focused the center of the cinematography very well from the ambiance of the actual hotel in and of itself. And I think also the soundtrack was actually really on key, and I think they did a really good job with it that keeps you like feeling this building sensation. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the first two acts of this I thought were great. I thought the first two acts of this movie, the build up for it, like, it was perfect in so many different ways. I was like, I don't know what's about. But actually, when Zachary Quinto and my man Jeff Goldblum, when they show up, I don't want to spoil anything about them, but when they show up, it's just like a ticking timer at this point. And I think if you go in like realizing you don't need to have any big preconceived notions about what's going to happen from that build-up, I think you're going to have a really good time as a whole. It's a very entertaining movie, very well acted movie. Jodie Foster has some really good acting moments. Sterling K. Brown, of course, always, he's the man. Jeff Goldblum, one scene that he has is just like hilarious and at the same time really dark. Which I haven't seen him do dark in a long time, but he did a really good job with it. And it's like, of course, Dave Bautista and Sophia have these great action moments in the third act, but unfortunately, for me personally, I think the third act doesn't serve to equate to what the build-up gave me. Like, I mean, I was like, some of these moments are dope, but I was like, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more tangible things. Now, with Sterling K. Brown's character in the third act, there's something that he does, and I think my wife brought this to my attention. He does something very unconventional. He does something very smart. And I'm not talking about like in the terms of movie, but like logic smart. And like you'll catch what I'm talking about when you watch the third act of the movie, but it makes a whole bunch of sense. Now, I wanted to see a little bit more action moments from Sterling K. Brown, but his decisions towards the end make the most viable sense. But it's not built for like that, you know, in your face like action beat moment. Without spoiling too much, hopefully I'm telling you guys enough so you can prepare you for looking at it. I think if you go and watch this film without any kind of preconceived notions, just looking at it as a film, I think you're gonna have a really good time with it. Don't think that like all this build up is gonna lead to something more necessarily, or like another film. Like it's just movie as is. But there are certain different things that happen in between the beginning credits, so definitely stay for that. I didn't stay to the very end credit. It might be something there, I'm not really sure. But if I had to give the movie a rating, I'd give it a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. I think it was a very fun movie. I think I put up too many expectations, and I didn't have enough to go off of because I didn't look at any of the trailers. But I think that the first 2 acts, I think those alone, the build-up for those alone were perfect. I just think that when you got movies in the realm of the Raid Redemption or the Raid Berendale or Raid 2, or like even like Atomic Blonde, or even like some of these Marvel films that are so heavily action choreographed, like this doesn't service that third act that well. And I think that if they had a little bit more oomph with that, I think it would have done a little bit better for me on the digestive side. But either way, definitely go and check it out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, cause Cloak and Dagger 2-hour premiere starts tomorrow, as well as we'll be watching an interesting Pixar movie tomorrow. So stay tuned for that review coming later on. Peace, guys. Have a blessed night.